Hi everyone, it's Doreen with Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. I'm here to share with you a little quick project that I worked on, and I will have a craft with me. I will show you what I made, and then I'll come back and do a craft with me. I wanted to give you a little sneak peek, and also for the ladies in my group who like to watch my videos and see what I create for the kits that they purchase. So I went ahead and I created this packaging using the Matchbook tutorial from Jenifer, who is Atraceofsparkle here on YouTube. She created this wonderful flat matchbook. See how flat it is? It doesn't have a lot of dimension to it. And I have had this on my crafty bucket list to do for a while. And so I decided that this would be a perfect idea for my stick pins that I want to include. And I had these in my last kit, and I wanted to start a little stick pin kind of collection. And I have these vintage stick pins here, I'll show you in a minute, and they will be housed in this matchbook. So I thought this is a great little thing to put on your desk, and when you need to get your needles and your little things out, you can kind of stick a needle in here if you want to remind yourself of where your needles are and your stick pins. I will link Jenifer's video below so that you can go watch it and make one for yourself. So it has all these different lessons in here, which is really neat because you can use this in your crafting. And it's great words to read too. It makes you want to read it. This was copyrighted in 1948, right there. And then this is kind of like what the book looks like. So each one has its own theme. So this one says Lesson 1, Selection of Patterns and Fabrics. This is Sleeve, Cuffs, and Hems. And then each one has diagrams of everything, which is really cool. So this is what the pages look like. And it's in this really nice cardstock feel material. It's not like thin paper, it's good sized paper, so you can make cool paper clips out of these, and you can cut these little diagrams out. So if you have books like this at home, this is a great way to use up your paper clip. You can do that, or you can collage with this, or you could use it like I did. So what I did is I just took a page. So I tried to go like in the center of the book like this and rip it out. And then, so I just, ripped it in half like this, folded it in half, like that. So I just take it and I folded it in half. And you can really, you can eyeball this and rip it how you want. I took this part that has this graphic here, and this was going to be my top. So that's what I wanted to figure out, which my top was going to look like, okay? So on the opposite page, so here's the page together right there. So that's what it looks like there. And then I ripped it in half, and so you have two pieces now. So what I did was I took one piece that had the diagram on it this way and turned it upside down, right? So then you have this piece of paper like this, and you have this like this, okay? So that's what it looks like there. And then, so then you just kind of determine how far down you want to go, and then you can cut some off if you want. So I just went down like this. Okay, so then you're just going to take your folded piece of paper and you're going to glue those two together. So pretend that we glued these together, okay? So use your glue. You're going to take your bone folder and just crease it really good so you know where you want to keep it, okay? And then you're going to fold it up and make yourself like, the matchbook look. But I think I'm going to, on this piece, I think I'm just going to cut some of it off because it is a little bit too long. Let me just cut off a little bit here. I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to fold it up. So then you just fold it up like a little bit, not too far up, but enough that it'll hold it in, okay? And like I said, I will link the video, more detailed video below. This is just my take on it and the fact that I don't like to measure. So, and then as you can see, when you lift up the paper, it looks like that. Now this is all going to get covered up, but I just like to have like the image as my inspiration, and then I collage over it, okay? So then what I did is, because I don't sew, I just stapled it. Okay guys, I'm back. I went ahead and I chose my paper. Let me show you some of the papers that I... This paper right here, and it has images on both sides. So what I did is I folded it in half, like that, and then I just ripped it in half, like that. You want to have the images on the top, okay? So I used that for one of my pages. I also used one of these notepads from Dollar Tree. So I just took the sticky part. It's about, let me show you, about like right there. Took that part off. And then I cut it down to the paper. So I just kind of put that together like that for now. So that's one of the pages that I used. Then I had this other, these were the rest of my paper, so I gotta cut up. Then I had this memo pad that I got from, I think this was Tuesday morning. So it has the days of the week. Now some of this might get cut up when you fold it. This is made of some really cool paper, almost like a glassine bag feel to it. So it's really cool. So all I did with that one is I just took it and I folded it in half. Ripped it in half again. So you get two pieces now. Okay, so you have this one with the serrated edge, and then you have this one that's ripped on the top, okay? I have this guest check that I took and ripped it in half, like that. That goes in the pile, and I think that is it. And then I have a piece of baking paper, best as you can. I like to have it a little bit even on the top. It doesn't have to be completely even, but so your guest checks are going to go down just a little bit too. It is kind of a little fiddly to do, but once you start making them, it's really fun. Okay, so now we're ready to put it in our book. And then we're going to staple it. Anyway, you get the idea. You could use a small staple too, but I just used a big one. We're going to cover up over the staples, so you're not really going to see the staples at all. And I'm just going to lightly glue this now because I want to make sure that I don't want to do anything different later. So, you know how we always change our mind when we make stuff. So I wanted to make sure that it pops out right here too. I only put the glue on down here. Now I'm going to add my cheesecloth. And there probably is still some glue left over, so I might not have to put too much glue. I'm going to keep this for later. Keep that little piece for later. Okay. Piece of baking paper. I want to kind of put it on here at an angle so that the angle goes down like this. And I want to bring it down just a little bit here. That's the good thing about this glue. You can move it around. Okay, so there's the next layer. And then I have this piece of paper here. It came from this image from Country at Heart 2008. And I made like a little template, so every time I go to make it now, I'll have this piece here and I'll have this piece here. So I can create, this is going to go on the back as a pocket, on the back of the matchbook. Okay, so this is one I already inked up the edges, and I'm going to add it right here. So we're kind of just building the layers, as you can see. So my next layer is going to be this, which is some really pretty light pink fabric. And it's going to be another layer that's going to go right here. So it's just peeking out a little bit. And I still want the roses to show there. Cut a little bit of this off. Okay. So there's our next layer. And then I have this piece right here. It's just vintage dress that I cut up. So we have this layer here, and to add this cute little thing here, kind of looks like a thread spool. Just going to add that rosette right there. That's looking good so far, you guys. What do you think? Okay, so now we need to decorate the part you tuck in. Base right here, this part. So I just cut up another piece of that tulle. I'm going to put it right there. And then since it's still got a lot of glue, I'm just going to go ahead and add this piece. I have some flowers I want to add, and I want to add this piece right here to the corner to fill this in and to hide the staple. We're almost done with this. And then we have to make the packaging that it'll go in. So I will come back after I finish this and we'll do the packaging. So I have these cute little pink millinery type flowers. I'm gonna just cut the stems off shorter and tuck them in. We're gonna tuck them in over so they kind of peek out under here. These are so cute, these flowers. I've had these for a long time. been in my stash forever. They just add a cute little touch. Just two. Like that. Looking for the other little pearls stuck under there. I think I cut them a little too short. A little too short on the bottom. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. And then I have this piece. This is an offcut. It looked like this before, and I cut it down so that it would fit in this corner here. And we can use that just for another element with roses. I've already inked up the edges and everything. But then it's just kind of like you're showing a little bit of the wording and some of the fabric. And actually, I think I want it to go under this. So it's going to peek out a little bit instead of on top. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. So just out, up on the top, pretty layers, sparkle, sparkle. And then we need to add our little charm. So all I did was I took the sewing charm that I put in the last kit. I have a pearl here, one of these tatted little flowers. I added some of this fabric here. It's like a chiffon pink fabric, and a bulb pin. And we're just going to pin that up here so that holds it there. I'm going to come back and show you how I put the little hearts together and the packaging. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Bye. Okay everyone, I'm back and I'm going to attempt to show you what we're doing here with this heart. So this is a really stiff material. I found this at my thrift shop, some kind of starch in it. I don't know if you can starch felt or not, but if you can, that's kind of like what this feels like, and it has a glitter to it. So I had started packaging up my hearts and I wanted to so you could take it apart and reuse it. I wanted it to be reusable. So I came up with this idea to put them on here in the felt. So I kind of just eyeball it right here, and you want to get it closer to the back and then push it in. And you see how it's kind of poking through. You have to just kind of keep working it a little bit. And don't stab yourself, because you could. That's why I'm putting them down inside these hearts. So what I do is I go next to each other as close as possible without stabbing myself. You almost have to have really good eyes to do this, though, I have to be honest. So, and then you kind of push it towards the back more, where it's kind of sticking out a little bit there. I think I'm going to go this way. Can you see that? Hopefully I'm in frame. So you just push it back towards the other ones to line it up there. And it looks something like that. So it is sticking out a little bit, but this is going to be covered up so you won't see the pins, okay? because we're gonna cover it up with paper. So you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Taking very careful not to poke yourself, because it does not feel good. This had a little backing on it before the heart did. It had this like green colored fabric on the back, and once I die cut it, it peeled right off. That one went in really easy there. So you see, oh, that's why, because it's sticking out. So you want it to be tight in there, good. So it looks something like that. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover it and staple paper on it. Let me get my paper here. So I have this Prima paper, and that's gonna go on the front. And then I have this. Let's see, what did I do with it here? I had another cardstock I cut. Well, we'll just use this one. And that'll go on the back. So it'll protect them. It'll protect the pins. And then you're just going to line everything up. And then we're just going to staple it again. Hopefully the stapler will work. There's one. And of course I'm stapling it close to the edge because of the, yeah, see, my staple's not working right. It's getting low on staples. There you go. Okay, so that's how it looks. Now I wanted it to kind of be wedged in there. So as you see, it's kind of wedged in there. Isn't that cute? I think that is so cute. And then all I did for the pins was I took this pin here, and I have like a little mix that I made up over here with different beads. And we're just going to build the stick pins. So the first one that we're going to put on, make sure I'm in frame. I have glue all over my hands, you guys. How about this pretty shade of pink right here? Isn't that pretty? It's very pale. And then I am going to put on the cream bead. Then I have a crystal bead. These are hard to see. It's kind of like a triangle. See that? Okay, got that bead on. And then to hold it together, we're going to put this little gold bead on. And that holds it together, not too tight. It just holds it together a little bit, just loose, like that. And then that goes in the center of this. Once you stick it in there, it looks something like this. So here's the one we just made. Here's the one that was already made. Super Cute, right? So we're going to do the same thing with this one, only we're going to add, I used cardstock on this one, which is the cardstock I just showed you. So this is what I was using for these pins. So I have my pins over here. So I'm putting 6 very large ones. I think these are 3.5 inch and they're vintage pins I got from an antique shop. So this has like a little layer right here that you can kind of push in the pin. You gotta push it in an angle here. So I'm kind of just pushing it down so it goes through the cardstock, the heart. Same thing with this one. And then just follow it down just like the other one. So it looks like something like that. You do the same thing with the other side. We got this over here. So this one you're kind of sticking a pin through the cardstock. That one went through the other way. Same thing with this one. So when I was putting this together, I didn't like how you could see the pin sticking out, and that's why I came up with the cardstock to go on both sides of it. And then I have my other pins, the button ones. I stuck those down on each side over here. Oops. I'm trying to remember how I did it. Like that. Oops, I need to bring it over some. Bad when you can't see good. Okay, let's move it over just a little bit this way. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better now. Just move that one over now. I don't want it to be touching the other ones. There we go. Something like that. Okay, and then we're going to build our little stick pin right here, which is just another one of those little pins, about 1.5 inch pins here. We got the big bead, the little pink one again, and a gold bead. That just goes down in the middle. Like that. And then we're just going to staple the two pieces of paper. So here we have this one, and we have this one. And they'll go inside of this packaging here. The big one will go in the back, and the little one will go up front. And then you have this cute matchbook for your stick pins to hold. And then we're going to work on the packaging, and I'll be right back to share with you all the things we're going to do with the packaging. Okay?